Girl Coding. We've been working on a website for a convention. Wanted to check first, sound check, to make sure that people can hear me okay. Let me double check here. I think people can hear me. So want to make sure. Let me just check my sound. Well, at least it's showing the microphone is showing. So I think we should be good to go. All right, so what we're going to do today is work on the admin screen for our convention website. So we have a lot of information, a lot of cool stuff here. For instance, if we were to go to the tickets page, let me go ahead and run this in a separate window. So if we go over to the tickets page, what's going to end up happening is we have some awesome text starting off. We have a headline, tagline, description, and then it goes from there. Now, that's great if we want to have it where our administrators can change this area. That is what we're going to be focusing on today, is being able to change this. Likewise for our other content types that we have here, like our partners as well as the guests of honor and the events. We want them to be able to change the verbiage without us having to go through and deal with the hard coding there. So what I'm going to do is go over here. If you're not familiar with this, this is Code Anywhere. It's a cloud-based development environment. I actually have a sandbox that we're working on today, which is why I'm able to pull it up on my browser. So I already went ahead and copied this over from a previous project and did some modifications. So should I need to, I can go back and get this fixed. So let me take a look here. So what I'm going to do is fix a couple of these things here. So want to have it where it's convention content types admin menu. So what this is doing is it's registering your link, and then it's also calling the register settings function. So helping you set up your variables here. So what we're going to do here, I'm just going to fix this, because this convention content, actually, I'm just going to keep it long. I don't care. So it's going through, and then it's going and it's initializing at this point. So then what we're going to do next is we go down here and we have this set up. It's saying convention register settings. So what we have is a group, and then it's going through partner events. It's intro. I'm going to clean this up so that it's a little bit easier for people to read. So we're going to go ahead and have it where it's the intro text first. And then what we are going to do is we'll deal with some of this stuff later. So that I'm just putting the to do here so I can keep track of what I need to take care of. And what we're going to do is it goes through. And now this is us actually building out the page. So we went through, it's got the options, and one of the ways you can do that is if you look over here, it goes through all these different arguments. So the admin type options is your options page. And then what it's going through is building out the PHP on this one. So as you see here, what we'll do is convention instead of this, which is the website I worked on previously, convention website. And then we continue on. And if you have questions on how all this works, they have options pages on WordPress.org, which goes a little bit further into how all of this works on getting things set up. So what we are doing is initializing those sections. We're going to go through, and on the events we have all this: tickets, tickets overviews, partners and sponsors. Be nice and put this here: guests of honor. And we're just going through, and we have the fields. We're setting this all up. We press submit. So I'm going to save this and cross my fingers to make sure I copied everything correctly and that this works. If this blanks out my website, it means something didn't work right, which half expected at this point because I just copied everything over without paying attention. All right, so we just added this stuff here. So this is encapsulated. This is encapsulated. This bracket's closed too. Let me see if getting rid of this, if this helps. Nope. So what we are going to do is just section by section delete and see what happens. So first things first, was this working before I started? I'm pretty sure it was. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take this back. Sometimes when you're going through and debugging all this code, see if it's anything here. Oh, I see what happened. I was using a different form of different version of PHP than what's on the test server, where on the test server side, or on my normal server, I can just do it with the question mark and the little caret thing here. Here I have to actually spell out PHP for every time. The joys of working with different types of encoding environments around here. Let's see if this fixes it. Yeah, that's exactly it. Because normally what ends up happening is in the others, in the VPS I use, I don't need to actually spell it out. So let me go ahead and refresh this and see if that was it. Okay, it was it. Perfect. So we got that part handled. So this should all be set up here. And then what we would have to do is, I think we just have to go and initialize this. Let me just double check here. So, add menu page, which I'm pretty sure was what I... Let me see here to go through. We got the options page, adding everyone needs a hook. There we go. So what we are going to do here is add action, and then this is going to be initialized. So what I'm going to do is set this up here so I can see what is happening. All right, if we go ahead and refresh this, is there a new thing somewhere? Yep, here it is under custom content intro. So what I would probably do is change that. So convention, let me see if and this is the fun part, is determining a location for the new menu. So we got ahead. Okay, top level or sub menu. And honestly, I can always go back and change this later on if needed. Just leaving it under settings should be fine for now. So I changed the name. Now if we go over to settings, then what we can do here is convention page headers. Likely if we add much more functionality to this whole thing, what I might end up doing is creating its own submenu. So what this is, again, this is something I worked on previously. So what I would probably do is under tickets, let me see what I have set up here. Tickets, tagline, and description text. So what I would probably do here is go through intros, and then let's see here. So those are that's just the verbiage. All right, so what we'll do is go ahead and add this in. Tickets. So I'm going to add in the ticket headline field. Let me just see what I did for guests of honor large. So I will go and take this and I put it under tickets. So I see what I did before. I'm actually just going to take this whole thing. Are you talking about the live coding TV website? Lunescence, are you talking about the live coding site? Huh. Yeah, they require people to sign up, and there's a couple of hoops you have to go through. All right, let me go see what this does. I think I got everything here. And then what I can do is refresh this again. And then what I will do. Like finding emails they didn't send. Yeah, I know how that goes sometimes. All right. Headline. Title text. We'll just call it that to make it easier. What are they doing here? Why is it? So we're going to go ahead. Save this. So what I would probably do is add in another caption. I'll do that later. And what I'm going to do is, so we're going to do this. And normally I'd have some sort of dummy text put in here. Let's see. I do that on occasion. It depends on the type of code. If it's someone who's doing like their first few WordPress plugins, then I can probably help out with that. When we start getting into things that are a bit more advanced, a lot of it's also depending on what it is that they want to do, and just overall. So I mean, if that's something that you're looking for, I can definitely talk with you a little bit later and see if we can either schedule some time, or if you want me to do that as another live cast for review. So we have us all here. So in theory, this should save everything. It didn't. So it saved this part, but it did not save. Oh, I know what I did. It did save it, it's just not here. Perils of copying and pasting. What you might think of the code I learned from a PHP forum site. I would actually be interested in seeing that a little bit later. Let's take a look here. So now we got this to work. So here, just to recap real quick for those who are curious, what the heck did she do? So we have this whole field here. It's an input field. It's named based on what we're looking for a variable, and then for the value, it's basically a callback for getting that option. Now, why is this going to be important? What we are going to do is now go back to our custom content for the archive for the ticket page. And so over here where it says ticket header, what we are going to do, actually we don't need my little info page here, is we are going to put in the ticket header. So this actually tells us how we can get it. Oh, this is Code Anywhere. It is a cloud-based development environment. So let me go over here, and what we are going to do is where it says ticket header, we're going to get rid of this because we're going to customize this. Talking about just you're fine. You're fine. Don't worry about it. Okay, so we have this part here. Now, if you're curious at what get option does and what you can do to customize further, what you do is you take that function, you go to codex.wordpress.org, click enter, wait, bear with me. Now default. So let's say you get the site all set up, but whoever you're giving this to forgot to go and set up their admin page. So you will go and put a comment here and put tickets, and what that's going to do is that is going to leave a default here. So we'll show how that works. Yeah, coding and colors definitely helps out to visualize what's happening. So remember earlier on the admin page, we had it where we said event tickets. So what that is doing is now it's showing event tickets here. Let's say I get rid of this. That your person who gave this to never did anything. Now this is blank. So if we go and refresh, nothing happens. So what this is telling me is we're probably going to want to not have this happen. So there is a way around. So what I'm going to do is add in a couple of functions here. So we've done admin form functions. What we'll do is I'll just create a separate area or a separate set of functions. All right, ticket, I would actually call it ticket archive headline. And then what we will do is instead of calling this here, we'll come back to this in a moment. So what we're going to do here, and then if this is empty, let's put this here. So this makes doubly sure. Actually, if I go through, we don't even need this part at this point. If it's empty, then what we'll do is switch this to tickets and return ticket header. So if I do this and I save this, what this is going to do is this is going to help prevent user error. So if the user put something in and decided they're going to get rid of it, then what we are going to do is check for them, and then if it turns out that they left it blank, then we're going to put a default there anyways. So we're going to refresh. And there we go. Now we have it where it says tickets. And you can do this for all those different pieces you want to do this for. So we have this for all set up. Now we want to work on your description text here. So what we're going to do is create a new function. All right. Okay, and what we are going to do is I'm going to copy this over. And I'll change that in a moment. I just want to get the basic code there. And we're going to return. So let me see what I set up the description as. So ticket overview page. So I called it ticket intro. So if we go through and put this here, and I save this, there we go. Now we go and we refresh this. And I broke it. All right, bear with me. Let me see what I broke. So we got this part works. We got the headline. We haven't even touched the description. Oh. Hi. So we have this taken care of. I'm going to refresh this again. All right, so the function, this works. Now what we're going to do is take this and we're going to put that into our theme here. So instead of description text here, and that should be all set. Now what you can also do here is you can also take this, and instead of having echo and hitting the function here, you can create your variables up here if you want to as well. This one actually, what I did is for this Anastasia is I actually used I'm recreating code from a website I built a while ago. I can feel free to jump over to it. So www.masqueradebynight.com. This one is actually the final product of what I had worked on. So you're not going to see all of the features here because they shut down a whole bunch of it since the events happened. But for instance, there's a guest of honor page where I was able to pull everything up here and go, and it shows all the cool stuff here. And in some of them, it would actually go as far as to show the events that they were helping to facilitate, which is pretty neat. But I decided that since I have some downtime before anything could possibly happen, I'm just going through separating out the code so I can use this for other convention websites as well in case people wanted me to help them out with that. So we have this part taken care of. Went through, added this in. I think I already saved it. So if I go through and hit refresh, special marketing code stuff here, which if we take a look, that is what we have listed. So if I go back and save this, this is all set up. Now here is one of the things we talked about last time around when we were running this. There's these little buttons here for either purchase or sold out. Now, one thing we can do is eventually build out a ticket registration site. But since we're doing a very bare bones project, we're just assuming here that they have a third-party website like Eventbrite, or there's a couple of other ticketing websites out there where all you got to do is click the button and it'll take you over to that group. So what we're going to do here next is come up with a way to add in a link in the control panel where it will automatically point to that link if were to click over on the purchase. So what we are going to do next is back over here. We are going to go into tickets. Get options should help us out with taking a look here. Well, that one's already set up. Let me take a look here. And so we got the conventions overview, headline, title text. I'm going to create a new one. And we're going to call this event registration link. Alright, types ticket. Instead of headline, we'll call it link. And then what we'll do here, all right, so we have this. No, it's not BlizzCon related, unfortunately. Speaking of which, I wish I could go to BlizzCon. right, so we're going to go ticket link. There we go. You know, I just remembered who you were. It was like, wait, why does Lunescence sound familiar? I'm like, oh yeah, the podcast I was just on. All right, so we're going to go ahead here. Have we checked to make sure I didn't break anything? So that... Oh, I still sound familiar too. Oh, gee, thanks. All right, let's see here. So let's take a look at this. Now, what we're doing here is WordPress admin page. This is a little small. So what you can do is WordPress plug in at double the S's. Let's see if we can change the length of this thing. Let's go through and actually let's see what it's doing here. That might help us. There has to be a reason why it is only that small. This is where using your browser's debugging tool can help. Width, okay. Okay, options pages, that's what it's called. Okay, and validation is actually going to be one of the important parts too, because you can always have someone put in text instead of a link, and that can cause stuff to blow up. Understanding validation. Yes, let's see here. All right, cool. And this goes into, let's see if I can just type in width. Let's try that. Oh, this is not helping at all. I can do research and show it off later. Honestly, let's try that. It might break it, but I'm experimenting. That's half the fun here. Come on. Because that's not causing it. That's not causing it. That is... There might just be something that's shrinking it. Let's see if I can switch it out. It's a CSS thing. All right, hold on. You can either go through and just for the sake of, we're just going to get brutal here and deal with this later. Actually, I'll deal with the CSS formatting on this. I don't really need to worry about it right now. So what we've done is gone through, we'll get rid of this screen. And if we save this here, we'll go back, and what I'm going to do is add this. All right, so we have this, and what we are going to do again, link. Something we can do is if this is empty, and what this is going to do is just give us a placeholder, and then we have that handled. So we got this here. And we'll go back to the convention page. And instead of link here, what we are going to do is, whoops, wrong, copy and paste. Bear with me. This was what I wanted. So what this is going to do is if I go back over to my convention page and click refresh, now if I go over to sold out, it still is going to show hashtag. I'm not going to be able to do anything. I don't have Bootstrap on here. Otherwise, what would happen is you click and nothing happens. But if I go to here and I hover, what it's showing is special marketing code stuff here because I did not put the right thing here. Link. There we go. So if we have everything set up, this should now show google.com as your link. So we have this all taken care of. Now what I might suggest here, just from a perspective or a way of building this out, there is the possibility that they're going to want to register, but you still may want to have them explore your site. And so one of the things you can do here, hello, how are you doing today? Anyways, to jump back, I was going to say, one thing you may want to do here is set this up as opening up into a new window or a new tab. I'm doing good. How about you? Oh, I already asked you how you're doing. Okay, never mind. All right, so we got this. We're going to go back over here into the other link and get this taken care of. This is what happens when I'm on autopilot. All right, so we've gone back. And what this should now do is if they go to register, it is going to take them to a new tab, because in that way they can go back to looking at all the different cool stuff that's on the site. And that's just one little feature you can add, especially if you're having things go off to a third-party site. That way you don't have to worry about them forgetting what they were doing and going, what the heck's going on? You're curing at your coding mistakes? I'm guessing you mean cursing. Ha ha ha. All right, let's take a look here. So I've got this part taken care of. So what we can do here, what I'm probably going to end up doing, because I can get it set up, is I'm probably going to start putting menu items up here so I can keep tabs of everything. All right, screen options. Please tell me there's something for archives. Oh, there's events, guests of honor, tickets. So we don't have a whole lot here. Oh, primary. I should probably add a menu here. All right, so as we see, we got all our events here. We have posts, we have our ticket types. If you want to, you can add custom links, categories. One thing we don't have is the ability to add custom content archives to your menu. So this is again where we're going to go to WordPress. Oh, right. Let's see here. And I saw that in the text here. So we have this, add to your WordPress menus. Adding a link, but not adding the archive. There we go. Go to toolset. Oh, this is for a plugin. This is not for actual coding. Hello, Jennifer. How are you doing today? All right. Somewhere around here is going to be the answer to my question. Mm-hmm. Oh, right. Nice. Ah. So someone else already built the way to do that, which I'm pretty sure. Let's see here. I may end up having to add a plugin, which I don't have issue with. It was CPT archive to nav. They're right. There we go. And we have this all taken care of. Custom poster, so the plugin has been deactivated. All right, so let me see why it is not working. posts. Alright, so it's not adding. Let's see here. Alright, so there is ticket. Oh. Okay, they are being sneaky. They actually hide the archive page under view all in this version. Alright, so what we are going to do is add that to menu. We're going to add guests of honor. We're going to add partners and sponsors. So we're just adding all of our archive pages right here, and we'll clean this up later. So we have this all here. Save the menu. If I go back, did I somehow lose my menu? Oh, there we go. So now that we have this all set up, we are going to refresh it, and here's all of the links to the different archive pages that we were working on. So we just wrapped up on tickets, and we can theme this out later if we need to. So guests, and then guests of honor. What we can do here is we can actually fix this a little bit later. Actually, later is probably going to be now-ish. Partner company and events. So we just have some basic templates. And what we can do here is start to work a little bit further on this. So we're done with that. We're going to go to guests of honor. And what I'm going to do is see what I did for the guests of honor stuff here. And I'm just going to take the standard archive page from this WordPress theme and use that as my template. So what we're going to do is just do some quick commenting here. Oh wow, a whole bunch of people are jumping in. Hello everyone who's attending. So what we're working on again is a convention website using WordPress as your backbone, just to make it easy for the people that we are working with. So now that I've went through, I'm just going to use the guest of honor then. I just realized I went for that one instead. So if we go through here, we have the guest of honor stuff. It's a little bit on the bland side. Now, with guests of honor, we probably don't have any categories. If we do, we can always go through and modify this and use different categories and filter by that. But since we aren't, we're just going to do something that's pretty standard. So while I have posts, the post, I'm just going to go ahead, get rid of that. And I'm actually going to get rid of the end while here. Let's see here. Where's it? What did I delete by mistake? Alright, so we're going to end the loop here, and we're going to start the loop here. And then what I'm going to do, just so you have an example to see what we're going to be moving from, over on this, I think for the events I did a list. Or was it the tickets? Now we'll move forward from here. So we got this. Alright, so we got the post. Save this. We don't need this area here. And what we are going to do next is actually build this out. So to show that this is actually working, that this is hooked into your guest of honor page, if I refresh this, we should not see anything. Yep, it archives guest of honor. So what we will want to do here is actually change this out, especially since we now have a custom field for this. So if we want to go back and actually build this out, what I can do here is honor title headline. Let me just move this up a little bit further. Actually, it might be easier if I just... Whoops, I accidentally hit my Excel button. No, I do not need Excel to run right now. Let's minimize this. Don't need this either. This was my copy and paste from earlier. No, we do not need Excel to run right now. Let's just close this out. Alright, so we have this. Should be a little bit easier for you all to see. Function get guest title. I'll get that in a moment. Now let's see what I called it in this earlier section. We're not going to use subtitle. They're going to do title. And that is get option, and we know that sometimes they are going to delete it, so we're going to fix that part too. Alright, so we finished that. So if we have this, and then if they were silly and left this blank, whether when they initialized it or was deleted, alright, so we got this. We're going to take this part, go to the guests, H2. I keep clicking the control when I'm not supposed to. So what this is going to do now is it'll either say guest of honor, or if we had put something in here under settings, we'll show that instead. Still waiting for this to save. Oh, cancel. Let's try saving it again. So as we see here, partners and sponsors, guests of honor, title. We'll talk about show that off in a moment. But first, we're going to test to make sure it works. Guests of honor. So then we'll do guests of note. The guests of tomfooleries or shenanigans is what we're going to call them, or whatever our organizer is going to call them. They save it. Now that it's saved, we've refreshed this, and it should now show whatever the heck we want. So now it's all set up. And then what we can do here, and then we're just going to create a new function in a moment. Over view. And we're going to get that and start create that function. All right, so this should now, if we go back up here under guests of honor, we'll get that. And this is a situation. Oh, code go mad. Hello. Alright, so right now we don't have anything listed, so it should just show nothing. And if we wanted to, what we can do is add this in. My marketing friends are probably giving me squinty eyes that I'm putting silliness like this up on public forums, but it's okay. So we already got this. It goes through, it's like long pitch about the guest of honor lineup for this convention. And then we will go into actually showing off who our guests of honor are. So if we go back over here, go to the convention guests of honor, well, post that post. Then what we'll do is I'm just going to add a variable because I'll need this for later. Actually use this for coming up with the ID for custom fields. So what we are going to do next is there we go. Now that we have everything set up, we can actually create this out. So we're going to do a div wrapper. Oh, outside the fence. There we go. Okay, so we have that. And then what we can do here is if we go back to our convention guest page where we had everything for the individual person, what we are going to do is actually, we may not need it. We can just do it this way. Perfect. Got this, the profile photo. And what we'll do is, got it, our image URL and the image alt. We'll add in here. Alright, so we have this all set up. So we have the image guest wrapper, alt here. If you want to do any more formatting, you can. And then we'll go back to see what else did I add in here. Ah, there we go. We're going to go back. And we have this set up and keep going. H2 and then I. There we go. do this one last thing. Alright, so all this combined should give us everything from the individual page. So if band class equals, actually I would just call it a bio, or whatever you want to call it, just as long as you remember it for later. So if we go through, cross our fingers that we did not break this. So here we go, we have our guest of honor picture. And what I would probably do is instead of this italic, I would just band class. Class equals GOH headline, and then span. And then what I can do here is we have our theming CSS. Okay, so what I will probably do is a separate section. Okay. You can always add in the stuff later. And then there we go. And that reminded me, this needs to be taken, there we go. So display block. So all I did was switch this out. What I might even do, let me see here, is this in italic or not? Oh, I see why it's not working. I forgot to save it. Even when it's saved, it's not working, so we'll go and see why. So guest of honor. Oh, headline is missing. So what we're going to do is go back here. Oh, it is there. It's just not showing. So let me see if I have to. No, that's not what I wanted. I want it under here. Sometimes you have to remind it with the post ID if we're having issues. That's not it either. Did I forget echo? There we go. So there we go. We fixed that. I might actually make this a little bit larger. if we refresh, it's going to get a little bit more different. There we go. So this gives us an idea of what we want to do. Now let's say we wanted to change the image size, because we've been doing this for a while, and that image keeps, we've been doing full image here. Get different image sizes. Let's actually check advanced custom field as well. Image, there we go. Alright, so we go through image, preview, library, minimum, max, template usage. I'm using the object return type. So let me go see how we have this set up. Yep, it's an object. So what we are going to do all right. Huh. Okay, easily access size width, da da da. All right. So we have this. And what I would probably do is I'm using the ID return type. Okay, I see that. So we go back over here to convention guest. Then what I would do instead, we'll touch this in a moment. See if what they've said works. Come on. And it broke. So something happened. So let's take a look here. Oh, the ID return type. Okay, so if we do okay, so this is image sizes. Oh, I see what it's doing. Okay. Okay, hello, how are you doing today? is actually going to call this large. And limit size is size. There we go. All right. All right, so we got this. So if we go back over to this area, let's take a look at what this is. So copy and paste that over. Instead of this, what we are going to do is use this instead. Walk through what it's asking us to do. And we'll just get rid of this part. So image source, we're going to switch this over to thumb, from thumb to large. Thumbnail to large. And then it's grabbing the alt, which we don't have an alt. So we'll just get rid of that. Actually, we do. It's image alt. And then width is width, which we took care of. Height is height, and we don't need this piece here. And if we refresh this, hopefully this is going to work. So now we went from a full scale image to this, and you can make additional changes if you need to. What I'm going to do is take this little trick and put it on my guest of honor page. So we're going to go here. And if event image, oh, that's the event image. We want the guest of honor image, which is right here. And what we can do is add this back over. I'm just going to deal with this. It's not the cleanest, but we can always format and clean this up later. So what this should show now is if we go to a guest of honor page, for an individual guest of honor, it should now show the other format. Now if we take a look here, I'm just double checking get permalink. There we go. So if we find the title, we'll just add this in here. What was it called? And I think if the permalink should work since we're within a loop. Alright, come on, save. Oh wow, it's already 8:15. Actually, let me just double check. It's Get permalink. That's what it is. All right, so if we go back here, refresh. So we go here and we now have the guest of honor page. Does not go to that. It goes and keeps us at guests. So let's see if I add in post, if that does it. There we go. Let's see. All right, what did I do for the other one? Post. That's going to be something as simple as that, but you never know. All right, let's try this again. That is not it. Get a custom post type. There we go. All right, so let's see if this does it. All right, that is not doing it. So something's going, that's not doing it. So something is up. All right, so PHP. Keep forgetting the echo part. All right. Guest of honor, guest of honor. There we go. Let me go fix this because I'm pretty sure that I wonder if going through and getting this and just echoing it works too. There we go. We figured it out. I forgot to say echo. So now here we are, guest of honor page. So we have our guests of honor. We have the hosted events that they're going to. One is a special event and one is included within the badge. If we go over to the special event page, we go through, it has date and time, it has everything else. It has this little headline saying, this is a special event. If we want to, we can actually go through and modify that verbiage as well. And then it shows our guests of honor and the partner company. So here we are. Everything is working out perfectly. So this is the framework here. And this actually concludes this project. I'm going to go wrap up this code and then I'll have this available on my website as well as on my Patreon site in a little bit. I'm just going to do some final cleanup on the plugin, and then that way you have a chance to experiment with what I worked on and see how you may want to expand this as well. So I hope everyone enjoyed this. Tomorrow I'm actually going to be geeking out on a personal project. So I hope that you all join me on it. I'm going to be using a different tool called Laravel on that one, and it'll be mid-project. So I'll have a little bit of a description on what I'm doing there so that you can try and follow along. So again, I hope you enjoyed it. If you do want to support me, my Patreon site is linked on the show notes here. Feel free to drop a line, offer support. I also do freelancing as well, so feel free to give me a message. We can definitely talk about different things we can do going forward. So with that, hope you all have a good night. And again, feel free to follow me and look forward to seeing you tomorrow.